Welcome to the Full Nelson. Today I'm going to be doing a review on the Timney Alpha triggers for Glocks. I had two of those triggers, one in each one of these firearms, to give a quick recap for people who have not seen the initial part of this, some of the issues I experienced with those. And I was having light primer strikes, lots of light primer strike issues in both guns, more in the 34 than in my 19, but I had them in both guns. Timney sent me replacement parts. I installed all of those parts. Did not resolve the issue at all. So, made my first video about it. I got a hold of Timney and said, hey, what are my options here? And basically what I was initially told by the guy that I spoke to was that I had to send my firearms in to have them put the triggers in, and they would modify the Timney triggers or do whatever they needed to do to the Timney triggers. They would not modify my guns in any way, in order to make sure that they function properly in my firearm. Now, I didn't notice anything when I went to purchase that trigger that said, hey, these have got to be installed by Timney in order for them to work, or they've got to custom fit them, or any of this. You got to be without your firearms for 2 to 3 weeks while we get all the work done to them and all that kind of nonsense. So this is my personal feeling about it. They rushed a product to market, in my opinion, designated it a competition trigger in order to circumvent some of the reliability issues that they probably knew that were out there. Do your own Google search, Timney Alpha competition trigger, light primer strikes, or issues, or safety issues, or any of that, and you are going to find pages and pages and videos of information out there. That information you're going to find are people like me that are stuck doing Timney's research and development for them. Us all being beta testers for a company that did not do their due diligence to make sure that they had a product that was both safe and reliable. So a little frustrated with some of that. Now, when I reached out to them after some of the issues I had already had, I wanted a refund. The guy said I had to send the guns in. And I didn't feel good about selling the triggers off, knowing that they are unreliable pieces of junk. You could not pay me to run those triggers in my guns. So kind of didn't know what was going to happen with that. And I thought, well, if the only way to see this through, because I said, well, if I send them in and you guys install them and I still run into intermittent issues or anything like that, then what? They're like, well, then we would consider giving you a full refund. Well, I got a hold of somebody else at Timney who told me, yeah, that's nonsense. They should have offered you a refund after you've already been through all the trouble you've been through. They should have given you that option. Well, I had already sent off my firearms in terms of the sequence of me finding out some of this information. I had already sent off my firearms, and I can't remember how long they were gone, but it was irritating me more and more the fact that I've already been through this 2 times, and now I'm sending in my firearms so that they can take measurements and their engineering team can look over things and find out what the issue is. Do you see where I'm going with this? These are all things that should have been done before this product even came to market, and now you're using my personal stuff in order to engineer a solution or identify what the issue is with a product that has been released now for a year or 2 years. So that didn't sit well with me the more I thought about it. And so I just picked up the phone and said, forget it. Send me my guns back. I do not want those triggers in my guns ever again. I want a refund. They ended up giving me a refund for the triggers, which I appreciate the fact that they did that. After wasting a huge amount of my time and a huge amount of money in terms of ammunition and everything else, with me being a beta tester, drop in the bucket as far as I'm concerned. I would not recommend those triggers for any reason. And the excuses I kept getting, oh, well, it's a competition trigger, or it's a this, or it's a that. It amazes me how companies' attitudes have changed over the years from releasing something that they did their due diligence on, they made sure it's a reliable, robust product, to, I don't know, let's just throw this at the wall and see if it sticks, and if it doesn't, we'll fix the issues afterwards. My tolerance for that kind of stuff nowadays is just to the point to where it's zero, guys. I know that for other people, when they purchase stuff, they buy one handgun, and they're like, oh yeah, I had an issue, but they fixed it, so no big deal. Well, I go through lots of stuff, lots of handguns, lots of rifles, lots of optics, so when you have that happen with one firearm, and that's the only firearm you own, you may not find that to be as big of an annoyance as somebody who reviews a lot of products and things on YouTube, and they might go through 100 of them or 1,000 of them, because all of those problems are now being compounded to where, oh, I've got this firearm that's off at Smith & Wesson being repaired. I've got one that's over here, you know, a trigger that's being repaired by Glock. I've got a Geisley trigger that's out because it wouldn't fit this particular model of gun that it was supposed to fit. When you start compounding those issues, it gets really irritating, and probably why I have very little tolerance for it. And so just understand where I'm coming from. You know, some guys are going, hey, it's not that big a deal. You know, it's just one gun. That's maybe the case for you. That's not the case in my situation with what I do and the volume of stuff that I deal with. So I don't recommend the Timney Alpha triggers. That's how things concluded for me. So any of you guys that are out there that are having major problems with them, one of the things I said to them, or the question I posed to them, was, what is it that I am supposed to tell potential consumers out there who are looking into buying your product? What can they expect in terms of, hey, we identified what the issue is, we've redesigned this, we can guarantee the 100% reliability, or, well, not 100%, but that you're not losing any reliability over a stock Glock trigger, you know, any of those types of things. I'm like, what good thing can I tell potential consumers out there that are looking to buy buy your product, Timney Alpha competition trigger specifically, after my experience? And the response I got was crickets. They could not give me a definitive, hey, we've done this to fix this, this will never be an issue again, any of that type of stuff. That's a pretty telling thing to me. So, don't know. Like, I'm trying to give them, as a company, fair opportunity. I try to do that with every company. I don't like going out and just nuking a company's reputation. But from what I have seen and what I experienced with this whole thing, and then the potential solutions to rectify it are, oh, we'll send your gun in one at a time, and we'll try to machine the trigger or do some work to it in order to get it to work somewhat reliably in your handgun and stuff like that. I don't know, guys. I have no faith in that product or that response, or anyway, that's just where I'm coming from. So I don't recommend them. That's how things concluded with the Timney Alpha triggers. I'm going to make a video, follow-up video right now about the Glock competition trigger, or performance trigger, I think is what it's called. And so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. Bye.